Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be this really fun orange and stripes nail set. I was in the mood for something really bright and vibrant. I'm just ready for the bright summery springy season, so I wanted to do something bright and colorful. I am starting off with doing the base layer for all of my fingers, and you might notice that my extensions look a little funny. Initially, the previous extensions that I had on was with a hard gel from Nail Order, and it was like this mauve pink color, and it was really pretty. But then I needed to take down and do a backfill for this set. And I did a backfill with white hard gel, mostly because of this color here that I'm using on my nails, this nude color, and for this white over here because I'm going to be doing these on the nails. I was concerned that the brighter, deeper color of the pink hard gel would kind of peek through, especially with this nude over here because it was a bit sheer and I had to build it up in multiple layers, and I didn't want that color coming through and ruining the color that I wanted. I didn't want that to peek through, so I kind of did my backfill with white hard gel to kind of neutralize that color a little bit so that the nude and the white could go over a more neutralized base so it wouldn't peek through. So it looks a little bit funny, but it doesn't matter because that's going to be on the underside anyway. But that's why I was just looking a little rough, especially here on my right hand while I'm working. It looks a little funny. That's just where I was like filling in and doing my backfill. But anyway, I am doing these three middle fingers with the nude, as you can see, and I'm going to be doing my pinky and my thumb with white. So I'm just building up multiple layers. I'm pretty sure with the white I did 3 layers just to get it super opaque, but I think 2 was perfectly fine. With the nude from Vettsy over here, this potted one, it was slightly sheer, so I think I did 3 or 4 even coats. I'm not exactly sure how many I did and how many I even like captured on camera because at some point, you know, it just kind of gets repetitive. But over here I'm doing the white on my thumb here. And I am so excited for the warm weather. Excuse me, sorry. I'm so excited for the warm weather, like I was saying. So I wanted to do something bright and vibrant. Something about this time of year has always made me gravitate towards oranges. I remember a few years ago, it was also around this time, it was one of the first times I got a really expensive manicure. My mom paid for it for me and my sister. Again, this was like a few years ago, maybe not even a few. I mean, it might have even been 10 years ago at this point. It's hard to keep track of time and everything, but I remember getting a bright orange. Also, there was something about the changing of the seasons where I was just like, I need something bright and colorful. And my mom was like, are you sure you want to go such bright, bold color? And I was like, yes. And I think that was like the first time I really got something really intense on my nails. And I think ever since then, I've just loved bright, bold colors and was never afraid to have colors that others might feel aren't as wearable or a little bit scared of on my nails, like blues and greens and bright oranges. I don't know, I loved that manicure. I still, like I said, at this point, it was probably like 10 years ago, and I still remember it to this day. I remember that feeling of just loving how intense it was and how different it was for what I was used to. So I don't know, I guess there's just something about spring in the air and summer right around the corner that just gets me excited for bold colors. So as you can see here on my index finger and my ring finger, I am doing a French manicure, and I was using the those like sticker stencils to create the French, and I only did the first layer with the stencil just to kind of get the smile line. But I've found in the past when I would use the stencils and build up the gel too much, it would create like a ridge between the French and the nude or whatever other color I had on my nail. The sticker would just create like a sharp, like lifted ridge to it, and it was always hard to kind of get that off or like create an even nail with it. So I decided that I was just going to do it for the first layer of the French gel area and then kind of perfect it with this small little brush. And this did take some time. As you can see, I'm going back and forth and checking the shape from different angles, and I did perfect it a little bit off camera as well when I needed just a bit more precision and to get my face really close up in there, but I think they came out pretty good. So I'm using these 2 oranges over here. The one that I'm using right now, the first one in the center is glitter, and then the other one is just a cream orange, and I'm just going to create stripes over here. There was something about it that just, I don't know, it felt Mediterranean. I saw something similar like this to this design concept with stripes and oranges. It wasn't exactly like this, and I couldn't find the picture again when I was looking for it. I think I saw it on Instagram while I was scrolling. It might have been Pinterest, but I couldn't find the photo again, even though I was searching for it. But I saw someone do stripes with oranges. They did blue stripes, so it was like blue and orange and white, but I kind of really wanted to keep my set within the same color family. I didn't want to introduce too many colors simply because I really wanted the orange to be super bold. I love orange, and not that the blue would take away from it per se, but I just wanted something. I just really wanted it to pop, and altogether, it's just really bold. So I'm just creating these little stripes on the French nail, and let me tell you, doing these stripes were a lot harder than I was expecting it to. I'm also going to be doing stripes on my pinky and my thumb, and I've been pretty okay with doing stripes on like press-ons where I'm just like doing nail art on tips. I don't do stripes a ton, but I've been getting better at making straight lines and making them even. But doing that on myself was just much harder to get my hand at the right angle to get a straight line, because of course my nail is tapered, it gets thinner at the end, so getting a straight line and not having a curve and not curved to the shape of the nail and everything, it was just a lot harder than I was expecting. And it was even harder on my right hand when I was using my left hand. I felt like I was working upside down. It was so backwards. So because my right hand has the same design and everything as my left, I figured I wouldn't torture you guys with showing that process, because honestly, it took me embarrassing long to get good stripes, but I got it in the end. It was also difficult doing the French with my left hand, and I really needed to just get my nose right up there. You wouldn't have seen anything on camera. But you can see here I'm using this tiny little micro cotton swab to clean up the messes, and I found as I was doing it, it's one of those situations where you just can't be scared, because the brush will smell your fear and will fight against you if you are nervous. You just kind of have to go straight. You can see here on my thumb, I'm kind of like creating like short, jagged, small lines, mostly because I'm trying not to get the gel on my skin as much as possible, which I do anyway, which isn't great. But what I found when I was doing my other hand was that starting from the cuticle and pulling upwards, even though it's a bit of an awkward angle, you can get a much smoother, at least for me, I was able to get a much smoother like straight line, and it was a lot easier. So with stripes, it's just one of those things where you kind of have to go for it and not be scared and just one swoop and be done with it, and maybe don't breathe while you're doing it. At least that's how it worked for me. But over here, I'm using this really fun fruity stamping plate from Clear Jelly Stamper, and using the different orange designs over here. So this one you can see is like an open orange or a citrus of some kind. You can make it any color and decide whatever citrus you want it to be. You can do it in pinks to make it like almost like grapefruity. You could do green for a lime, yellow for a lemon. Obviously you can do whatever you want, but for me I was doing orange, and I placed down the white like kind of like seeds center for my nail over here. You can see it, but I felt like it really covered up like the detail of like the different sections of the orange, and it just felt very stark to me. So I ended up actually redoing that. I don't show it on camera, but I ended up redoing that, taking that off and doing it again. But over here I'm just doing these cute little oranges and adding a bit of greenery. I decided to go light with the green. I wanted it to be there but not be too bold. Again, that's one of the reasons why I decided to stick with just the oranges. I really wanted to keep the color scheme like very specific. And over here as well with the white, I do the outline for the orange over here, and even though it looks really cute and it emphasizes it, something about the white was just a little too aggressive. So you can see here I'm showing that I actually ended up taking it off and redoing it. I don't know why, but something about the white outlines and the white dots and everything, even though it did add to the look, it almost to me kind of took away from it, because the white was so bold that just felt really, really stark. Maybe using like a lighter, maybe more sheer white or different color, but I didn't want to bring in any other colors like I keep saying. I almost went for black, but then I decided not to do that. It was just going to be a little bit too aggressive. So even though I'm using this light green, I think it really does add just that bit of detail to the nail. It's not too aggressive that it takes away from the design, but I feel like adding greenery to oranges or florals in general, fruity things, definitely enhances the look. And here's the final set. You can see my right hand came out pretty okay, I would say. I think this is one of the best Frenches I've done on myself. Let me know what you think. I really love how the set came out. It's so bright, it's so summery, and I'm just so excited for warm weather. So let me know your thoughts on the set down below, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!